نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم حاميم والكتاب المبين إنا جعلناه قرآنا عربيا لعلكم تعقلون وإنه في الكتاب لدينا لعلي حكيم وقال تبارك وتعالى كما ورد في سورة الواقعة إنه لقرآن كريم في كتاب مكنون لا يمسه إلا المطهرون تنزيل من رب العالمين وقال عز وجل كما ورد في سورة القيامة لا تحرك به لسانك لتعجل به إن علينا جمعه وقرآنه فإذا قرأناه فاتبع قرآنه ثم إن علينا بيانه صدق الله العظيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم ربنا ألهمنا رشدنا واعذنا من شرور أنفسنا اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى آمين Ya Rabbal Alameen. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. With the name of Allah and invoking His blessings and help, we are starting our month-long program of a rapid translation of the whole of the Quran and a brief explanation along with. As I told you couple of days before in my Sunday lecture was this place, we shall be holding inshallah 4 sessions of 1 hour each every night. For today, the first hour I'm taking, I'll try in half an hour to finish with some introduction, some basic and fundamental facts and figures about Quran Hakim, and then about half an hour for Suratul Fatiha. And then in the second hour, inshallah, we shall start with Suratul Baqarah. About Quran, first of all, we all believe that Quran is the word of Allah. Al-Quranu Kalamullah. It's the speech of Allah, word of Allah. And it is protected and preserved. Its protection and preservation is guaranteed by Allah Himself. Number 2, the real and original Quran is with Allah. What we have in our hands is, so to say, an attested copy of that real Quran. That real Quran is in Lawh Mahfuz. Bal huwa Quranun Majidun fi Lawh Mahfuz. At another place, as I have recited the ayat from Surah Al-Waqi'ah, fi kitabim maknoon, the hidden book. This is Quran Kareem, and it is in the hidden book, fi kitabim maknoon, la yamassuhu illa al-mutahharun. And from there it was sent down to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So actually the real Quran is there. That is why I have recited the first 4 ayat of Surah Al-Zukhruf, Hamim wal Kitab al-Mubin. By this book, which is very clear, it is expressive of all its meanings. Inna ja'alnahu Qur'anan Arabiyyan la'allakum ta'qilun. And we have made it a Quran in Arabic language so that you can understand. And here actually the addressees are the Arabs, who were the first addressees of Quran. I'll discuss this point later on, inshallah. وَإِنَّهُ فِي الْكِتَابِ لَدَيْنَا لَعَلِيٌّ حَكِيمٌ. And this Quran is in the mother of the books, Kitab, the real mother book, لَدَيْنَا, it is with us. Al-Aliyyul Hakim, and this book is exalted and full of wisdom. So the real Quran is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. في لوح محفوظ في كتاب مكنون في الكتاب لدينا And these are actually the attested copies of the Quran that is in Lawh Mahfuz. From there, it was sent down. And this coming down of the Quran was in two stages. Number one, in one night, round about the year 610 of the Christian era, one night of the month of Ramadan, that is Laylatul Qadr, the whole of the Quran, from the Lawh Mahfuz and from the Kitab, as I've told you, it was sent down to the first heaven. Actually, the lowest heaven from the divine side. But from our side, it's the first heaven. The whole of this Quran was sent in that night, Laylatul Qadr. Inna anzalnahu fi Laylatul Qadr. Wama adraka ma Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr khayrun min alfi shahr. Tanazzalul malaikatu wa ruhu fiha bi'izni rabbihim min kulli amr. Salamun hiya hatta matla'il fajr. And this Laylatul Qadr was in the month of Ramadan. That is why we have just listened in the prayer also, in the first rakat of Surah of Salatul Isha, this Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran, hudan lin-nasi wa bayyinatin min al-huda wal-furqan. For this first coming down of the Quran, the verb that is used in Quran is anzalna. Anzala yunzilu inzalan, because this means one piece, suddenly, sending down something at one time, one piece. So the whole of the Quran was sent down from that Lawh Mahfuz, from that Kitabum Matloon, from that Kitab to the first heaven. Now that is second stage was that from there it was sent down to the heart of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam through Archangel Jibreel alayhi salatu wassalam. And it was bit by bit, ayah by ayah, surah by surah. And it took 22 long years in the complete revelation of the Quran to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And who was Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam? We all believe he was the last prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But here I want to mention, he was from the progeny of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam to Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. And you know his tribe, Quraysh, that belonged to the progeny of Ibrahim and Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. And they were settled, being Ummul Qura, that is Makkah al-Mukarramah. So there actually, that is the place where Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born in the year 571 of Christian era. And when he was round about 40 years, this revelation started to him in Ghar Hira, in the cave of Hira. And that was the year 610, as far as we can assess and we can know. Now during these 22 years of the revelation of Quran, for about 12 years Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam stayed at Makkah. So the amount of Quran that was revealed during this period is called the Makki Quran, the surahs, Makki surahs, and it is round about 2/3 of the whole of the Quran. Then he migrated in the year 624, 622 to Medina Munawwara, and from thence till his death in 632, that is 10 years he stayed at Medina. But during these 10 years, he was making journeys for battles also. For Battle of Badr. Then he had to go even to Tabuk, that is near the border of Syria. He had to go to different parts of the Arabian desert. So actually during this whole period of 10 years, the surahs and ayat of Quran which were revealed to him, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, they are called the Madani surahs. Although all of them were not revealed at Medina properly. Some of them were revealed in different places where he was on journey. But all that part of the Quran which was revealed during 10 years after Hijrah until his death, this is called the Madani surahs or the Madani Quran. Now this division between Madani and Makki surahs of Quran is nearly agreed upon. About most of the surahs it is agreed upon whether it is Makki or Madani. But there are slight differences of opinion about a few surahs and then about a certain ayat also. There are examples that some ayat were revealed at Makkah, but they are included in the Madani surahs. or some ayat were revealed at Medina, but they are included in the Makki surahs. But as I told you, by and large, it is agreed upon between all the Muslims and scholars that this is the Makki surah and this is the Madani surah. An example of an important exception is Surah Al-Hajj. According to some people, it is Makki. According to others, it is Madani. And as far as I have been able to understand, part of it is Madani, part of it is Makki. And some ayat, I found it later on, that it was the opinion of Hazrat Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma, that some ayat were revealed during the journey that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam undertook during his hijrah, when he was going from Makkah to Medina. During this period, those ayat were revealed. So this surah, so to say we can call, it is somewhere between Madani and Makki, Surah Al-Hajj. About the rest of the surahs, as I've told you, clearly there is consensus, there is agreement of opinion about whether they are Makkis or Madanis. Now, fifth point is, who were the addressees of the Quran? Whom Quran addressed? I want to divide this into two parts. The first and foremost addressees of the Quran, they were the pagan Arabs, who were the progeny of Ibrahim and Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. And Quran gives them the title of Ummiyin, because they didn't have any book. There was no prophet sent to this progeny of Ibrahim after Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. So these people, you know, they were unlettered one. They had no education, they had no book, no law, no tradition. So they were called Ummiyin. Huwa alladhi ba'asa fil ummiyina rasulam minhum yatlu alayhim ayatihi wa yuzakkihim wa yuallimuhumul kitaba wal hikmah. But secondly, the addressees of the Quran were the Jews and the Christians. So to say, they were the former Muslim Ummah. They were the Ummah of Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. They were people of the book. All of them believed in Torah. And the Jews, you know, although they didn't believe in Injil, but they did believe in Torah, in the Old Testament, and all the scriptures of the prophets. So actually they are called Ahlul Kitab, people of the book, and they have been addressed to in the Quran directly, and they were also the direct addressees of the Quran, because many Jews were there in the Arabian Peninsula, and then you know Christians were also present in the Arabian Peninsula. To these people, Quran addresses primarily. But secondarily, whole of humanity is the addressee of the Quran. All the people, all human beings who were present in this world at the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Quran addressed them also, Ya ayyuhan nas, O people at large, Ya bani Adam, O progeny of Adam. So actually the whole of humanity was being addressed. And not only those people who were present at the time of the advent of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but also all human beings who had to come to this world till the end of this world, till the doomsday. But they are being addressed, and they are the addressees. We may say they are by proxy. To them this message has to be given and communicated by the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the direct, you know, approach of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he addressed directly himself the pagan Arabs of the Arabian Peninsula and the Jews and the Christians of his time. The rest of the humanity, actually this mission was entrusted to the Ummah of the Muslim, of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that now it's your duty to preach and convey and communicate this message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to each and every human being till the end of this world.